to Kush News, the newscast of the African diaspora. I'm your anchor, Ochanda, daily bringing you the top stories from Africa and the Caribbean. Let's take a look at today's news on Monday, July 24th, 2023. We go to Kenya, where they're calling for a truce. Calls for President William Ruto and Azimio leader Raila Odinga to reach a truce are mounting, especially as the opposition prepares for another round of protests scheduled for this Wednesday. Raila Odinga is leading the anti-government protests primarily driven by the increase of cost of living, which he blames President William Ruto for failing to address.
Our peaceful countrywide demonstrations will continue next Wednesday. We are serving notice to all the OCSs across the country for the Wednesday peaceful demonstrations.
Uncertainty looms with President William Ruto and Raila Odinga maintaining their uncompromising stances. Religious leaders and members of the international community in the country have been urging for talks, expressing concerns that the ongoing protests may lead to chaos and instability. Individuals from the government also stated that they were very concerned that peaceful demonstrations have been turning violent, because the National Council of Churches in Kenya and the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops have been in fact pushing for dialogue, and it appears that it is going unheeded. In spite of the ongoing pressure, President Ruto has maintained his unwavering stance and openly declared his unwillingness to engage in discussions with the opposition solely focused on improving the lives of Kenyans rather than pursuing a power-sharing agreement.
Don't sabotage our country. Don't sabotage Kenya. Don't sabotage our economy. Don't sabotage our nation.
Power. The coalition held protests from July 19th and continued for 3 consecutive days on Friday. While the protests were active on Wednesday, they gradually fizzled out by Thursday and Friday as Kenyans resumed their regular activities. During the protests, Raila, who was suffering from the flu, was absent and did not actively take part. Following Raila's 5th defeat in the 2022 presidential election, Raila has organized multiple rounds of protests against the government since March of this year. Despite the loss, Raila has been vigorously advocating for youth liberation by encouraging protests, making him a nightmare in President Ruto's administration. The former Prime Minister Raila Odinga remains adamant, asserting that President William Ruto's victory was a result of rigging orchestrated by the former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, known as the IEBC. Those in Kenya, let us know on your thoughts on if the two sides will come to a talk, and let us know if you are going to be participating in the upcoming Mandamano. Let's say in the East African region, where the heads of state of DRC and Uganda play a blame game. Uganda will ask the Democratic Republic of Congo for permission to increase the operational area of the two nations' combined hunt for the Allied Defense Forces, indicating that the hunt may continue on longer. According to a report, controversy was sparked by Ugandan President Museveni's decision to criticize the inaction of former Congolese President Joseph Kabila in dealing with the terrorist organization in the past. While speaking to the nation on security issues back on July 13th, Museveni, who frequently praised Kabila's successor, President Felix Tshisekedi, for his decision to permit the UPDF to operate in the DR Congo. Museveni said that Uganda had enough soldiers to protect its rear in Uganda while simultaneously pursuing the rebels into the Congo border and beyond the operational area. One of the difficult points brought up in the past was whether to increase the number of troops on the ground. According to sources with knowledge of the meetings, Tshisekedi, who Museveni characterized as being one of the more helpful than his predecessor, was reluctant to permit it due to pressure from authorities in Kinshasa. From their base in the jungles of neighboring DRC, the Allied Democratic Forces, which were founded back in 1995 in Uganda to oppose Museveni's regime, were liable for killing both civilians and security officials for years. In June, the group, which declared allegiance to ISIL, raided a secondary school, which killed 42 people, and predominantly of those children. Those in Uganda, let us know your thoughts about pressure mounting on the DRC to allow more troops to take care of the terrorist threat. Let's go to the Caribbean and end it there, where Grenada is going to get an approval for a new currency. The Monetary Council of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union has approved the issuance of a $50 note to mark Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence. Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell announced last month that in honor of its Golden Jubilee, the government had approached the group requesting a printing of a commemorative $50 note.
Part of our Golden Jubilee, I'm happy to report that Cabinet has approved and made a request to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, our ECCB, to have the bank issue a special celebratory commemorative 50 EC dollar note to mark Grenada's 50th year of independence.
Let us know your happiness about a new currency note. When we come back, we'll have today's African proverb of the day. Don't go anywhere.
What's going on? I'm MC Cadero, and I'm here at a graduation party. Double graduation party that I was booked for. That's right, you can also book me with 15 years experience. It's www.mccadero.com. See you soon.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at today's African proverb of the day. And it comes to us from Kenya. Mandamano. Hopefully you guys are doing good in Kenya today. And it reads, when the lion cannot find meat, it eats grass. Once again, when the lion cannot find meat, it eats grass. Kenyan proverb. The message here is don't die. Let me talk to you, young man. The message here is do everything that you can to thrive and do not die. When your back is against the wall, do not die. When you feel like all options have been exhausted, do not die. Keep fighting. When you think you've had enough, keep fighting. Let me know your interpretation of today's African proverb of the day, as well as your thoughts, views, questions, comments, and concerns on the top story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for today and any other day we upload material. For Kush News on Kush Convos TV, I'm Ochanda. We'll see you soon.